it was redemption weekend in the NFL in Conor McGregor at UFC 246. But let's first start in the NFL. Andy Reid finally got past what was haunting him in the conference championships and now into the Super Bowl. I, however, am of the belief that this was the year, no matter what. As soon as they got into the playoffs, I was like, even if the Patriots win, the Chiefs got this, just by the way that they were looking going into it, that they were, a lot more confident. They just looked better, and I didn't really believe too much in the Ravens. Even if they beat the Titans, I didn't think that they were going to beat the Chiefs. But, you can call me out and say, oh, Titans at 2020, but I know that it's true and that I, had the Chiefs going all the way. So I found that amazing. I found it amazing that he overcame that, and I mean, like, you might have saw the video of him in the locker room and him coming around and just like celebrating. It was really cool. He was really happy to finally get over that hurdle and get into the Super Bowl after just being in the conference championship modem for so long, or purgatory, I guess, for so long. And on the NFC side, so on the AFC we have Andy Reid getting to the Super Bowl. On the NFC side, we have Kyle Shanahan. I almost butchered his name. Kyle Shanahan, where he learned from his Super Bowl 51 mistake of, just not running off the clock and just not playing his style of game for the Falcons. And obviously he didn't blow the lead for the Niners. So it was a 27-0 lead, which is a bit harder to blow than a 25-zip lead. But again, it was amazing to see him learn from his mistakes and to see the storyline continue. Now for UFC 246, this was the real redemption of the weekend, the big one. Conor McGregor against Donald Cerrone in UFC 246, and I had Conor McGregor winning this mainly because I was just rooting for him. I wanted him to win, and I thought that I find him personally just really, really funny in the way that he acts. I find him really interesting, and I was rooting for him. I had him winning, but I never would have seen this coming, a 40-second knockout. I don't think it would be ridiculous to see that coming. But, it was just cool. I'm not an expert on the UFC. I'm not an expert in MMA. I do Taekwondo, but, that's nowhere close to the physicality and, the punishment on the body as the MMA in the UFC. But that's why I'm focusing on the storyline. Just because I don't know UFC does not mean that I can't focus on what this guy has been through. So, this guy, Conor McGregor, has been out of professional fighting in the UFC for pretty much a year. I've done Taekwondo. If I was out for a year, I don't know if I could do a lot of the things that I was once able to do. So I found it amazing that he was able to, hang in there, or even have the confidence to go back into the ring and say, I can do this. But then on top of that, I'm not sure if it was before or afterwards. I think it was before. He admitted to having been drinking before the Khabib fight, where he lost, obviously, and from then on, not from then on, but from October leading up to this fight, he had been sober in preparation for it and did not give himself any leeway. And he also admitted to before some of his previous fights, where he do a little boxing match or fighting with whoever, and then he just disappear a couple to 3 nights before the actual fight and just do nothing, like not take care of himself. And to see that he's reflected on that, and it produced what we saw for 40 seconds of domination. It's unbelievable. And even when he won, usually you see him like running out of the cage, jumping over the fence, and celebrating, going crazy, riling up his fans. But I found it even more amazing, not necessarily the physicality and how great he was in that fight, but how he acted after he won, where it was so humble. He acted with a lot of humility. He was kneeling. He was like shocked. He was like, I won. I did it. I came all this way. I did all this hard work, and it paid off. I was out for a year, and now I'm back. And he's ready to go. And after that fight, he checked on Donald Cerrone, and he was like making sure he's okay, and even gave him a little kiss on the head. But he kneeled beside him and embraced him, hugged him, as it was like not so much a thank you or an arrogant way, but like as in just a moment of just togetherness, I guess, where only Conor McGregor can really describe it, I guess. But I don't think it was arrogant. I think it was just humble, where he was just grounded and was like, oh my goodness, this feels really, really good. I think that's what was going on in his head, and he was just, I just found it amazing that he was, on the verge of tears practically, and he hugged Donald Cerrone, and it was just an act of humility, I'm pretty sure. That's the way I view it. And so, to me, Conor McGregor is the guy that has reflected on himself, on his past, on his fighting, and changed his bad habits for the better. And it seems that he's, for now, in a good place. And to me, that's inspirational.